All right, here we go. So, right. Thank you for joining us today for me to talk about VCU Pre-X, just a little quick info session and for a space for people to ask questions. VCU Pre-X will, of course, VCU Pre-X is going to be, so the first thing to know, VCU Pre-X will be from March 29th to April 14th from 5 to 8 p.m. Signups are over at the last day for signing up is March 25th. So be sure to sign up before then. So I'm sure you're asking, of course, what exactly is Pre-X? Pre-X is a program that is designed to help students communicate their ideas to investors, sponsors, and accelerator programs in the Richmond area and also throughout the country. It ends with Demo Day, which is going to be the last Friday of April this year. It's going to be the 29th, 28th. And that is an all-day event where people will get to see what you've worked on over the time that you started your idea and what you've completed over Pre-X. You'll show off the deliverables that we'll have you do for Pre-X so you can be a participant in Demo Day. One thing that I want to make clear is that Demo Day, there is a competitive element to Demo Day, but ideally it is a learning experience and a teachable moment so that you know what to do should you decide to if not this idea that you work on during Pre-X, you have another idea and you have the gist of what that's going to look like when you have to approach someone for sponsorship or for funding. So the schedule of events this year, last year Pre-X was 2 weeks. It's been bumped up to 3 weeks to think about another aspect of the entrepreneurship experience. So for that, week 1 and week 2 are going to be in person at the Innovate building on Broad Street. It'll be in those classrooms there. More information will be sent out before Pre-X, before the first week. The first day will be Intro to Pre-X. Second day, the themes, let me retract. The themes for the individual weeks. The first week is focused on teams, is focused on the teams and the entrepreneurship. And teams and entrepreneurship is the theme of the first week. The second week will be working on your project and what VCs look for. And the third week will be preparing for Pre-X. So I'm just going to walk through each individual week real quickly here. So the first week, like I said, it's going to be teams entrepreneurship. Some of the questions that we're going to tackle for the introductions are what makes a successful team, what is healthy conflict, the myth of the solo entrepreneur, and what do you bring to your team, and what do you bring to a team? These are all valuable things to know.
Are you supposed to be, sorry for jumping in, are you supposed to be showing us a different page? Because we're still looking at the title page.
Audience window.
Okay.
So, there we go.
Now I can see it.
Everything's going now. Things are moving. Perfect. So week 1 is going to be about teams, and the questions we'll be approaching for one day will be what makes a successful team, what is healthy conflict, the myth of the solo entrepreneur, and figuring out what you bring to a team. These are all valuable because just alone, an entrepreneur only succeeds when they rely on people around them. You can try and do everything as a solo entrepreneur, but you're eventually going to hit a point where you are overworking yourself. And that's when you need to know what you need on your team, or if you're joining another startup or another company, that's in general, or joining another team on another business, what you bring to the team and how you can differentiate yourself. I think that's a very valuable skill to have. The other thing for that week we'll be trying differently will be what is a join a team night. So this year, if you have already filled out your application or you haven't filled out your application, you'll see that you are not required to apply with an idea. You can certainly apply and perhaps join someone's team who is working on an idea so that you can get some experience. You don't have to stay on that team after you're done with with Pre-X and demo day. If you decide that you want to quit, that's certainly something that is a conversation you can have with the person who's running their idea, and a conversation you can have with myself, as I will be facilitating Pre-X this year. If it does not interest you, feel free to do so. But join the team night. People who have ideas will present their ideas, give a little brief synopsis, and then people will get to mingle and go around and join teams that interest them if the founder and them click. We will approach what happens if you do not find an idea that you're interested in at a later date. Have to figure that out still. But we will have that figured out before that day, so we can work forward from there. Ideally, it would be nice if you brought an idea that you just want to work on. Your ideas for Pre-X, your idea does not need to be fully formed yet. We're very much a pre-seed accelerator at best. So if you have something that is just a sprinkle of an idea, but you really want to work on, you can certainly do this during this time frame. You can get a lot. You can be surprised by how much you can get done in 3 weeks. But yeah, do you have any questions for me after this first week? For this first week?
For us, Sri, Mimi, and Nicole here, we're I think we'll be joining as a team.
That's fine. If you're already joining as a team, I think you'll be okay. If someone decides they want to join, it's up to however you want to work that out for Pre-X. If you're like, yeah, you can join our team, that's fine. If not, like I said, we'll figure that out if someone approaches you at Pre-X and they want to join your team. Cool. Week two. Week two, we'll start with a design thinking workshop. We'll talk about design thinking, how you can use it to refine and redefine your ideas. Like I said, you can get a lot done in 3 weeks. Second day will be what is going to ideally be a panel of VCs and sponsors and people who offer funding for Pre-X or in the Richmond entrepreneurship ecosystem. They'll be able to, and ideally, they will be talking about what they look for in a startup, what they look for in a new business idea to make them want to invest or at least offer mentorship. And then the workshop will be the 30-60, will be a 30-60-90-day workshop where you plan out what you would like to have where you would like to see your business idea in 30 days, 60 days, and 90 days. Finally, the last day of week two will be an introduction to your deliverables, which will be your executive summary and your pitch deck for demo day. Any questions before I move on? If not, I will go ahead and move on. Feel free to stop me for questions if you have them. Week three will be the week that you meet your mentor. Week three will be virtual so that we can give some flexibility to both mentors and teams. You'll meet your mentor for rest of Pre-X and up for demo day. You can use them to help you refine your idea, work on your executive summary, planning your next steps. You can go back and like, hey, this is what we're working on. This is what we're doing. Just kind of get them to understand. And they'll also be ideally helping you how to tell your story for Pre-X. The second day, some things are going to be switched around. We're going to be having a speaker on. The speaker that we're supposed to be having for story crafting will be, we're going to move some days around, but we're still doing these. So one day will be how to pitch and story crafting. How do you tell your story to get people to buy into your idea? What goes into a good pitch deck? And then finally, the last day, or maybe the last 2 days, I have to double check that when that speaker's coming in, will be pitch practice, refining your pitch, getting ready for demo day, making sure you're on your P's and Q's for demo day, so that when we go into demo day, you're ready for all the event. More information about demo day will be shared as we get into Pre-X. Outside of that, there are no other slides. This is really quick. If you have any other questions for me, or you have questions, I will be here for the next 45 minutes. I'll be around until there's no one else here. Why are you not moving? Right. Anyway, here's my contact information so you can contact me if you have further questions about Pre-X. After you leave this call, I will again be the facilitator for Pre-X for those who have not met me, although I think most of you have met me. But I will still introduce myself again. I'm Tyrone Fry. I'm the Experiential Learning Coordinator for Da Vinci Center. I'm also a UX UI designer at Capital One, and I graduated from VCU Da Vinci with a Master's in Product Innovation. I am owned by the VCU. I just accepted at this point. But yeah, that's me. Thank you for coming. Again, if you have any questions, I will answer them to the best of my ability. If not, do not feel like you are obligated to stay. Feel free to drop. Just make sure you have my contact information so you can get in contact with me.
I did have one question.
Yes.
You said, so this is the second year that Pre-X is going on?
This is the, oh God, Pre-X has been around for at least 3 years. It's been around for 3 years. Last year was 2 weeks. What's changed is the time frame. In this year, we moved it to 3 weeks. Last year was 2 weeks. And then the year before last was 10 weeks.
Okay. Do you remember or know how many students participated last year in the Pre-X? Or teams?
I want to say there were at least 5 to 7 teams for Pre-X last year.
Okay. And did the teams have, I'm assuming they had at least 2 people on each or around that?
I think generally speaking, they had at least 2 people on each team. So I think maybe there was 1 or 2 people who were solos, but at least everyone had 2 to 3 people.
Okay, perfect. Thank you so much.
And when it was like 10 weeks, so was it like semester long?
Yeah, it was semester long. It was 10 weeks. But it was also the year that COVID happened. So.
Okay.
That would make it much more difficult.
It was fun.
Yeah, so I can imagine that. So.
Not the COVID happened, but the pandemic started. There we go. That's a better way to say it. Sheila, do not jump on my laptop. I can see you eyeing the couch. Thank you. Sheila is my roommate's dog.
Gotcha.
She was looking at the couch where my work laptop is sitting, and I'm like, do not jump on my couch.
So, you said on week 2, you said sponsors will be
week 3
hearing out.
Oh, week 3 is mentors. Week 2 is sponsors or funders, people who.
Okay, the panel of local investors. So, what do they usually look for commonly, just to get a rough idea of it?
I can't answer that off the top of my head, but they're going to look for your business plan, what your timeline of events is going to be, how much money you think you might need in the future, really the tangibles, so they can understand how they could be useful to you, how they could be useful to you, and how you would generate revenue for yourself and for them. Things like that. So what is this? And while you don't necessarily always have to be a revenue generating platform, it is good to know how you are making and making your money.
So it'll be like a hands-on experience of trying to pitch to investors, trying to get funding.
Okay.
Awesome. I have to run to one of my classes, but thank you so much. This is great.
You're welcome.
Bye, Nicole.
Bye-bye.
See you later.
If you have no other questions, feel free to drop. I'm not going to hold you for 30 minutes or an hour. I'm not going to hold you random.
Yeah, I think for the Pre-X, I don't have any more questions. But although I might want to discuss with you about what I've sent you on email before.
Yeah, sure.
So on the email I told you that we are on like the research phase for our project that we're moving on with Pre-X.
Mm-hmm.
And we are trying to get surveys and trying to conduct user research, and we are wondering like how can we get to a lot of substantial number of students to do that, because like the first thing we can think of is like friends or someone we know, but
it was a good way to start. The best way to get information is to go to where your users are.
Okay.
So if I remember correctly, it's RamSafe. Get on RamSafe and be like, hey, can you fill out a survey?
Okay.
Just if you have a tablet, like, hey, I know you're heading home, but could you fill out the survey for me real quick while you're on this bus? That's a perfect place to get them because they're right there. You know they use RamSafe. So why not? If you see someone waiting for a RamSafe, there you go. Just get on RamSafe and ask people if you see them. You could ask RamSafe. You could even like call RamSafe and say, hey, we're conducting an experiment. Do you know if we could just hop on the RamSafe? You could literally hop on a RamSafe. It would kind of suck, but you could hop on the RamSafe for like an hour, maybe an hour, 2 hours, and just talk to people who get on. That is probably
we were thinking something similar too, but just wondering, does like big companies do something similar too when they're trying to research users, or would they be just like have a pool of users they can easily reach out?
Without a doubt. One time we had CarMax come in for class, and CarMax said what we'll do is that they'll do what is called a 404 test. So they'll have a web page linked or something that someone can click on, but it goes to a 404, and they can measure how many people would like that feature based on how many times they'll click that link and just go to that 404. That's an easy way to get information. They'll add survey. When someone's on their website, they'll be like, hey, can you do a quick survey for us? Or if you call your bank and your bank is like, hey, can you give us a quick survey on what you thought of our service was today? Stuff like that. They do it all the time. They go to where their users are. And if your user's calling you, your user is literally right there.
Oh, okay. Interesting. And for the Pre-X, let's say we keep moving on after the design thinking, user research, and prototyping. At the end of the Pre-X, I know you said we were going to have, I forgot the word, but like the pitch deck and all that. But would we be expecting to be like come up with a prototype, or like
if you have a prototype, you can certainly include that in your pitch deck, but you don't necessarily have to have a prototype. Pre-X is for student ventures that are at all phases of the product life cycle. So it could just be an idea that you're really interested about and you've done some work on it, you've got some research, and you have some base prototypes. It could be a MVP and a minimum viable product. This is a form, for example, me and Carlos, my friend and co-founder for a lot of the stuff that we end up messing around with. Our first thing, Contrastly, literally started as a type form, and that was our prototype for the longest time, was a type form so people could do it and walk through the process of how we wanted people to do. That is perfectly viable. It could be a full prototype. It could be something you're already selling. If you go to Shift Labs, we have jackfruit jerkies there because Julian's in here and I like to use them for his jackfruit. For jacked jerky is there. We also have like the other. We also have who else is there? There is, I can't remember the name of the dog treat one. There's
Dracos.
Yeah, I remember
Hey,
that.
Julian.
And Mimi.
Yeah, we have the dog treats there. That's perfectly viable. That's a product that's ready for market. There's the 3 L's Lip Love line, or I think that's what it is, Lip Love line. That's a full marketed product. That's a partner, mind you, but still, it could be in that stage. It can be all stages of the product life cycle. It doesn't have to be a full prototype. You don't have to have a full prototype by demo day.
Okay. Oh, and one of my friends, when I heard about Pre-X for the first time, he told me like Pre-X is a competition. Is it a competition or is it more just like
there is a competitive element, but that is not it. We're trying not to make that the full focus. Because there can be great entrepreneurs with not so stellar ideas. And being able to showcase, oh, this is a stellar entrepreneur who doesn't have a good idea at this time is just as important as showing a stellar idea that might not have a good team around it, which would be really weird, but you get the gist. Sometimes people have great ideas and they're great entrepreneurs, and sometimes they have bad ideas, but they're great entrepreneurs.
Okay, that was helpful. Yeah, I think I heard about it for the first time in 2018, and I feel like back then it said it was a competition, like explicitly. Maybe I'm remembering wrong.
There's definitely a competitive element, but for us, right now it's been shifting more towards what are you learning from Pre-X. There's definitely things to win. There's definitely funding to win, but what will matter more is if you actually grown and learn from going through Pre-X.
For me, that's all the questions I've got.
Cool. Mimi, do you have any questions?
Nope. Bye.
No, it's fine. Like I said, you have my contact information. I'm not going to hold you ransom. If you want to drop the call, drop the call.
Thank you so much.
You're welcome. I look forward to seeing your application.
Yeah. Yep. I'll be helping us now. Have a good day.
Make sure that you fill it out. Oh, cool. Okay. Thanks, Julian. It was a team. So you can disappear too. I'm gonna hang out for another 30 minutes.
Okay, cool.
Thanks.
You're welcome. I'll see you later.
Later.